What's up, everybody? I'm Coach Tyler with Fencer's Edge, and today we are going to be going over all of my fencing gear. I'm going to give you some recommendations of the gear that I like, and it might help you if you're in the market for some new fencing gear. It might help you decide what gear to buy and what you might want to look for when you are purchasing equipment. All right, so with that, let's get started. We're gonna start from the toes all the way up to the nose. So starting with my fencing shoes. This is the Allstar D'Artagnan V. I really love these shoes. I have had the D'Artagnan shoes for so long, probably gone through maybe 10 or 12 pairs of them. I freaking love them. They fit my feet perfectly. They have a nice rounded heel. When you're buying fencing shoes, that's an important feature to look for. Does the shoe have a nice rounded heel? Does it have good padding in the heel? When you are lunging, you're landing really hard on your heel and rolling down to your toe, so it's important to have a nice rounded heel and a nice good padding and strong heel cut back there, so you're not bruising your heel when you're slamming it into the fencing strip when you're doing your lunges. The other thing that I really like about this shoe is it's really low, thin sole here. I like to be really low to the ground. I don't like high top fencing shoes. I feel that I'm more balanced and solid with the thinner sole. So I really like that about these fencing shoes. I really like how light they are, and I really like how flexible and bendy they are as well. You'll find that a vast majority of the top fencers in the world are wearing these shoes. They come in different colors, but yeah, these Adidas D'Artagnans, this is where it's at in my opinion. Freaking love these shoes. Definitely check out a pair for yourself if you're in the market for some fencing shoes. All right, so that brings us to the fencing socks. I've got some old All-Star fencing socks. Definitely time to replace these. You'll find with a lot of my gear that I'm going to show you today, it's on its last legs and it's time to get some new stuff. But I really like these socks. When you're getting fencing socks, it's important that they're long enough that they go all the way up to or past your knee. When you're wearing your fencing knickers, your legs should be completely covered. There can't be a gap in between your knickers and the top of your sock unless you have some tights or something on underneath. Then it's okay, but typically you're looking for a long pair of knee-high or higher fencing socks. I really like these All-Star socks because they got a nice padding in the shin area of the sock. This is really helpful when you're fencing épée. You're not getting hit in the shin. It cushions that blow a little bit more. So yeah, I recommend the All-Star socks. And that brings us to the All-Star fencing pants or fencing knickers. I love these knickers. This has by far been my favorite pair of fencing pants that I've owned. The things that I like about them are they are nice and tight and form-fitting, but they're also kind of stretchy. This allows me to not have like really baggy pants, which I don't think looks good or feels good when I'm fencing. I like a more form-fitting, tighter fitting fencing knicker. And they are kind of stretchy, and I feel like they don't hinder my movement at all. These are FIE fencing pants, so they are rated. You could wear these at an international or national competitions. If you plan on fencing in international or national fencing tournaments, FIE equipment is a must. You cannot be wearing fencing equipment that is not FIE approved at national and international competitions. If you're just planning on doing local tournaments, or if you're just getting into fencing, you don't have to spend the extra money to get that FIE approved equipment, but it is recommended. It's a lot more durable, a lot safer. So yeah, I highly recommend these. Again, they're made by Allstar. I don't remember the exact model of fencing pants these are. I'll put a description in the link below, but yeah, I really love these pants. They've been my favorite pair of fencing knickers that I've ever owned. So highly recommend them. All right, so moving on to my underarm protector or my plastron. I've got an Allstar plastron here. I really love this plastron for a few different reasons. Number one, it's really thin and light. I've worn some plastrons in the past that have been thick cotton underarm protectors, and they're really bulky and they don't feel good underneath my jacket, and they move around a lot. You'll see some underarm protectors will just have these little straps that go around your torso, and I find that is not enough to really secure it to my body. The thing that I really love about this underarm protector in particular is it has this Velcro collar, and I find this really helps keep the underarm plastron secure to my body, and it doesn't ride or move around underneath my fencing jacket. It's really thin and light and breathable, which is good because when you're fencing, you've got a lot of equipment on and it can get really hot and quick. So yeah, I really recommend this underarm protector, this plastron. It's by Allstar. Great piece of equipment. Would highly recommend it. All right, so moving on to my fencing jacket. This jacket was actually donated to our club at the exact same time that I needed a new fencing jacket. So I kind of snagged it, and I really like this jacket. It is pretty thin jacket, which I really like, especially for saber fencing. You don't have to have a really thick jacket when you're saber fencing because you got a lamé on top of that. So I definitely prefer a thinner jacket. I find that it's less constricting when I've got all of my other equipment on, and it's a little bit cooler. However, if you are an épée or foil fencer, you might prefer something a little bit thicker. You can get hit a little bit harder in those weapons. I've been fencing all my life, so I've gotten kind of used to the hard hits. They don't really bother me, but if those types of things bother you, if you don't want to get some welts or bruises, you might want to opt for a thicker jacket than this. But again, this is a fencing armor jacket. I really like it. It's worked well for me, and it's nice and thin, and that's what I like about it. All right, so moving on to my Saber lamé. I've got an Allstar Saber lamé here, and I freaking love this lamé. It's really light. It's been very durable. It is definitely in need of a bath. It's kind of dirty and smelly right now, as is all of my fencing equipment. So I might be doing a how to wash and maintain your fencing equipment video in the future. But for right now, I really love this Allstar lamé. I really like the Allstar jackets and lamés and pants. I feel like they are tailored really well to fit my body, like they're really form fitted to your body. They're not baggy. So that's some of the reasons why I love these Allstar lamés and jackets. So yeah, this is my Saber lamé. Moving on to my foil lamé here. This is a Blue-Gauntlet foil lamé, and it is on its very last legs. Definitely needs to be retired. I couldn't even use this in a tournament right now if I wanted to. It's got a few dead spots, as you can see by the greening here. This lamé has been around for many a year, and it's definitely ready to be retired. But I do like it. It fits well. It's nice and form-fitting. Again, this jacket is made by Blue-Gauntlet. I really like a lot of their gear and would highly recommend their gear. It's really reasonably priced and it's durable and gets the job done. So yeah, this is my foil lamé. Moving on to the masks. This is my Allstar Sabre mask here. As you can see, it is definitely ready for retirement as well. It has seen some wear and tear, but over the years, I have really loved this mask. Some of the things I really like about the Allstar masks is that they tend to fit my face perfectly. I've got a little bit of a skinnier head, and these masks really hug my face, and so I don't have a mask that's wobbling around on me. But yeah, I find that they're really comfortable. When I first got this mask, it was pretty tight, but after I wore it for a few weeks, it broke in nicely and just feels amazing on my face. But when I did first get it, it did feel a little bit tight. But after a while, that padding kind of breaks in and molds to your face nicely, and I really highly recommend these Allstar masks. Next is my Épée mask here. Again, it's made by Allstar. This is the newest mask in my bag right now, and again, I love it for all the same reasons why I loved my Sabre mask. It fits perfectly, it looks good, performs well, is really durable. Highly recommend this. The next mask here is my foil mask. The foil masks have a bit of lamé material here on the bib, which you need to have if you are going to fence in competitions. This mask is made by Blue-Gauntlet. This hasn't been my favorite mask just because it feels a little bit wider than my Allstar masks, and like I said, I've got a kind of skinnier face or head here, and so I prefer a little bit thinner mask when I'm fencing. But other than that, a little bit wider build or wider frame, this mask has been pretty good. It's treated me well. That's my only real complaint about this. It's been durable. It's lasted maybe about 5 years or so, 3 to 5 years, and the lamé is definitely turning green because I don't wash my gear enough, and I should. But yeah, this has been a good mask, and I would recommend it. Especially if you have a wider head, it would probably fit you perfectly. All right, so moving on to my cords here. I've got 2 foil and Sabre body cords. Foil and Sabre body cords are the same exact cord. You can use them for both weapons. Here I've got an Allstar foil Sabre body cord and an Épée foil Sabre body cord. They are pretty much identical, except for one is red and one is blue. They are really great durable body cords. They last a really long time. When they do break, they're really easy to fix. They are really thin and flexible, which is really good for when you're wearing them underneath your jacket. You don't want to have a thick, stiff body cord underneath your jacket that's going to bother you and rub up against your skin really weirdly. But yeah, I really love these body cords. They're thin, they're durable, they're flexible, and yeah, I would highly recommend these Allstar or Uhlmann body cords. When you go to competitions, it's important that you have 2 body cords, at least 2 body cords. If one body cord breaks, you need to have a backup so you can change it quickly. If you don't, you're going to get carded. Some tournaments won't even let you fence if you don't have 2 body cords. So yeah, these are my foil and Sabre body cords. I've got 2 mask clips here. I'm not sure who makes these mask clips. I think one of them came with my Allstar Sabre mask when I got it. But yeah, I prefer these thinner mask clips over the coiled or spring or slinky type mask clips. I find that it's a lot harder to get these caught in a sword as comparison to those slinky curly Q mask clips. I find that swords tend to get caught in them a little bit easier. So I prefer these thinner mask clips when it comes to that. Next, moving on to my Epee body cords. Again, I've got an Allstar one and an Uhlmann one. They are great for all of the same reasons as the Saber foil ones. They're very thin, they're very durable, and they're easy to fix. All right, so that brings us to my gloves. I've got a foil Epee All-Star glove here. I really love these gloves. They're very comfortable. They've got padding in all the right places. They've got reinforced leather here for where you get the most wear and tear out of your glove. Definitely need to wash this glove. It's pretty crusty. If I bend it too much right now, it might just snap in half. But yeah, I really love these gloves. They're really comfortable, really durable, and they've got padding and reinforcement in all the right places. So yeah, I love these gloves. This is my Saber glove. The Saber glove has to have a lamé material on the cuff. That is important. Also, in competitions these days, in the past, I don't know, 3 to 5 years, they recently made a change where you have to have an FIE rated 800 Newton rated fencing glove. That is important if you're going to competitions. You got to have that. If you don't have that, you're not going to be able to fence. This is an all-star glove. Freaking love it. Super comfortable, really durable, and yeah, highly recommend these. All right, so moving on to the blades here. Starting with the Saber, I've got 2 of these. I'm just going to show you one right now, but this is a Blue-Gauntlet BF Maragine S2000 blade. I love these Saber blades. They have been super durable. They're really light and very well balanced. I have broken hundreds and hundreds of Saber blades in my lifetime, and these tend to last the longest for me. They're really good stiffness, really good weight, really good balance. I would highly recommend these. They're a little bit more on the pricey side, as you don't have to get a BF Maragine blade, but I do find that they last a little bit longer and hold their shape a little bit better. They don't tend to kink as much as some of the cheaper blades do. So yeah, that's why I go with a little bit more expensive BF Maragine Saber blades. And again, I have 2 of these. The grip is a lightweight all-star grip. Or I'm sorry, the guard is a lightweight all-star guard. I really like these guards. They're super lightweight. They have good coverage and good protection. They, however, are not quite as durable as something a little bit more thicker. As you can see, it's kind of bending a little bit, and that's no problem. You just kind of put it in a vise and re-bend it over time. But I really like these guards because they are so lightweight. The grip is an all-star rubber Saber grip. I really prefer the rubber grips as comparison to the leather grips. I find that the rubber grips grip better, and the leather grips, when they are dry, when your fencing glove is dry, they tend to be a lot more slippery. But once you get them wet with sweat, they get a little bit more tacky and grippable. But because when they are dry, they are so slippery, I much prefer the rubber grips. As you can see, I put a little bit of athletic tape on my grip. I find that this helps my grips last a little bit longer. I put them right where my thumb and my forefinger rub on the grip the most. I find that helps make the grips last a little bit longer. Without that athletic tape, I tend to wear through these grips pretty quickly. So having that athletic tape there just makes the grip last a little bit longer. Once the tape wears out, I just replace the tape, and underneath the tape, the grip is fine. So yeah, these are my Sabers. I've got 2 of them. If you are fencing in competition, it is a must that you have at least 2 blades, and preferably the blades should be identical. The same blade, the same grip, the same bend. When you are fencing and one of your blades breaks, if you have to switch to a different blade that's maybe a little bit heavier or has a different grip or is bent a little bit differently, it can kind of throw off your game. So it's really important that you have at least 2 blades and preferably identical to each other. That way if one breaks, you can just grab the other one and you won't notice any difference. So yeah, these are my Sabers. My foils, again, I've got a Blue-Gauntlet BF Maragine foil blade. It is a medium stiffness. I love these blades, great balance, great weight, and really good durability. They're a little bit pricier, but in my opinion, it's worth it. The cheaper blades will break quicker, they'll kink, and they just won't last you as long. And they might be a little bit heavier too. But yeah, I love these blades, highly recommend them. Here I've got a Uhlmann Viscounti grip. Your grip choice when it comes to foil and epee fencing is really up to you. It's kind of personal preference. What I would recommend is if you go to a tournament and there's a vendor there, go try out all of their grips. See which one feels the best in your hand. I really love these Viscounti grips. They feel perfect in my hand. I feel like I've got really good control over them, but you might be a little bit different with your hands. So it's kind of personal preference when it comes to grips. But yeah, I love these foils. I've got 2 of them, and that is crucial that you have 2 blades, especially if you're wanting to get into competitive fencing. So yeah, those are my foils. Next is my epee here. This one is a BF Maragine, and it is made by Uhlmann. I freaking love this blade. It has been my favorite epee blade that I have owned in my life. It's really durable, really well balanced, the perfect combination of flexy, bendiness, and stiffness where you need it. Can't speak highly enough about these blades. They are great. I've got an Uhlmann Viscounti grip, medium, just like my foil, same grip as my foil, and I find that works best for me. This is a lightweight Allstar bell guard. I really like it because it is lightweight and it protects you well. However, the lightweight guards do tend to dent and bend easier, so they may not last you quite as long. But I prefer that over having a heavier guard, but that's just my preference. Underneath here, I've got a clear thumb pad. Epee fencing, it is kind of helpful for the referees if you have a clear thumb pad. That way they can just look underneath there and see the wires, see that there's no buttons, and you'll be on your way. It's much quicker. If you don't have a clear see-through one, the referees have to dig their fingers in there and look underneath, and that can be a little bit annoying. So yeah, these are my epees. Got 2 of them. Highly recommend them. Love them a lot. All right, so that brings us to my first aid kit that I keep in my bag. This is a first aid kit for my body and also for my gear. So in here, I keep Ace bandage wrap, an ankle brace. I rolled my ankle a while ago, and this was really helpful in keeping that secure while it recovered and healed. I've got some athletic tape in here. I've got a few Band-Aids. Having some Band-Aids in your bag is a good idea. I find that my non-fencing hand sometimes gets hit and gets little cuts and scratches on it, so it's nice to have a Band-Aid handy for if that happens, you're not bleeding all over the strip and stuff. So yeah, some Band-Aids in there. I got a little thing of BioFreeze here. It's kind of like icy hot for like sore muscles. It kind of gives a cooling feeling, pain relieving feeling to it. Got some Chinese herbal spray here that is a lot like Tiger Balm or BioFreeze or Icy Hot. You just spray it on, it gives kind of a cooling, warm sensation to help relieve some of those muscle pains. Got a little alcohol swab in here for cleaning off any cuts or anything like that before I put Band-Aids on them. So that does it for the body first aid stuff. And now I got some tools in here for first aid on my equipment. This first one is an Allen wrench here. It's really good. I use it for tightening my swords, the grips on my blades. It's important to have a tightener with you because when you're fencing, sometimes your grip can get a little bit loose and wobbly, so it's nice to have a tightener close by, so if you're in the middle of a bout, you can just grab it real quick and tighten your blade. So I have an inside hex and an outside hex for tightening my blades. Both of these are for tightening the grips. Next I have a screwdriver. This is handy for working on body cords or for fixing the prongs on the plugs on your sword. I also have some pliers here for tightening my saber grip if I need some pliers for that. Got a little mini screwdriver here. This is good for taking out the tip screws in my foil and in my epee. I've got some tip springs and screws for if I lose a screw or if my tip spring goes out in my foil or my epee. I've got some backup of that. I've got a shim here for testing my epee to make sure it passes the shim test. And I've got a weight here for making sure that my epee and my foil pass the weight test. It's important that you check your equipment before you go to a tournament. That way you can make sure it's all working when you get on the strip. That way you're not going to get carded if you show up to the strip with weapons that don't pass the weight and shim test. Next I have a little bit of super glue in here for re-gluing the wires down in blade in my foil and epee, and that's a handy tool to have. Next I got a little bit of metallic foil tape for fixing any, patching any things that I need that need to be conductive, like my saber mask here. That's what that stuff is. So that covers my first aid kit, and last but not least we'll talk about my fencing bag. This bag, I like this bag. It's got a few features that I really like and a few features that I don't really like. But it's made by Blue-Gauntlet. It's a pretty good bag. It's got a nice big side pocket here. You can put your shoes or any other miscellaneous gloves or any other gear. It's got a smaller pocket here for putting your body cords in, and a little clear pocket here. I've got some business cards and stuff like that in there. It's got a detachable strip bag, which I really like. This is really handy for when you go to tournaments. You can just throw your extra blades, your extra body cords, a water bottle, a towel, your headphone, and your phone or iPod or whatever you have in here, some snacks, and just bring this with you to the strip. It's a lot smaller, a lot easier to carry, and it's a nice feature of this bag. The bag also has two bigger compartments here, one for your blades and one for your equipment. It's important that you keep your blades separate from your wet, sweaty fencing jacket and lamé and stuff like that. That way your blades don't rust. If you put all that stuff all together in the same compartment, zip it up and throw it in your trunk, your blades are going to get rusty, they're going to break a lot quicker, and you're going to leave rust marks on your opponent's jackets, and they're not going to like you for that. So, oh, the other thing that I have in my bag, this is a cool little hack for you. This is just an old sock that I filled with rice and some dryer sheets. And what I like to do with this is when I get done fencing, my fencing shoes are all sweaty and stinky, and so I stick this sock bag of rice in my shoe here like this, and what it does is the rice absorbs all the moisture from my shoe, helps it dry out quicker, and the dryer sheets help my shoes not stink quite as bad, so I don't open up my fencing bag and just get wafted with an awful foot stench, and my gear doesn't smell like sweaty, nasty feet. So yeah, that is all of my equipment. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it was helpful for you. I hope it helps inform you in your gear purchasing. If you have any questions about any of this, please put them in the comments below. Like I said, I'll put links to all of this equipment in the description below. If you are in the market for some new fencing equipment, I highly recommend you check out Blue-Gauntlet fencing gear. I love those guys over there. They're super friendly, very knowledgeable, and they got all the equipment that you'll need, all the best stuff to beginner sets. Check them out. If you do, give them a call. Let them know that Coach Tyler from Fencer's Edge sent you. All right, so that does it for this video. As always, guys, please remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment below. And until next time, have fun, work hard, and practice.